The lights of Vegas were sparkling, the music was thundering, and guests were on their feet waiting for what was supposed to be the most magical moment of Jennifer's life. But instead of vows and promises, whispers started rushing through the ballroom like wildfire. What should have been a night of pure celebration quickly spiraled into chaos when Jackie, never one to hold back, dropped a revelation so explosive it shattered the entire mood. Reports claim that right there in front of stunned family and friends, Jackie revealed a secret that no one saw coming Brandi might be expecting. And the father allegedly isn't who anyone thought. Gasps filled the room as eyes darted between the bride, her closest friends, and the man who was supposed to be her forever. Emotions ran high, tears mixed with anger, and the once glittering wedding turned into a scene straight out of a soap opera. Some guests stood frozen, others pulled out their phones, and the atmosphere was thick with disbelief. Fans following the updates online say they couldn't believe how quickly love and joy transformed into betrayal and heartbreak. And now the question everyone is asking is simple. Did Jackie just expose the biggest baby scandal reality TV has ever seen? The night in Vegas had all the makings of a dream. The Strip glittered under the desert sky. Neon lights pulsed against the hotel windows. And inside one of the most exclusive ballrooms, Jennifer was preparing to say, "I do." Her dress was immaculate, every jewel catching the light like fire, and the crowd of family, friends, and fellow cast members buzzed with anticipation. This wasn't just a wedding. It was an event, a spectacle. The kind of moment that people whispered about long after the confetti had been swept away. But behind the smiles and sparkling decor, something darker lingered. Brandi kept glancing toward the exit, her fingers fidgeting with her clutch, her laugh too forced to feel real. Her discomfort hadn't gone unnoticed. Jackie, always the sharp observer, sat with a glass of champagne in hand, her eyes narrowing as though she could read Brandi's thoughts. Anyone who knew Jackie knew what that meant. She was biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash something she had been holding in. The ceremony itself unfolded with elegance. Guests rose to their feet as Jennifer walked down the aisle, her face radiant, her steps steady. Her fiancé looked every bit the proud groom, smiling as though nothing in the world could shake him. For those few minutes, it seemed like everything was exactly how it should be. Perfect, joyful, filled with love. People whispered about how beautiful the couple looked together, how the energy of the night felt magical. But in the third row, Jackie leaned toward a friend and whispered something that made their eyes widen. The guests stiffened, and within moments, the whisper began to ripple across the rows. Little fragments of suspicion spreading like wildfire even as vows were exchanged. By the time the officiant pronounced the couple husband and wife, half the room was buzzing, though no one dared to say anything aloud. Brandi, seated on the opposite side, seemed to sense the shift. Her face turned pale, her body tense, as though she knew what was coming but had no way to stop it. Then came the reception. Music thumped through the ballroom, laughter echoed, and champagne glasses clinked. Jennifer glowed, greeting guests, dancing with friends, soaking up the joy of her big night. Her fiancé looked equally at ease, chatting animatedly, taking photos, and sharing kisses with his bride. But the joy was fragile, a thin layer of glass ready to shatter with the slightest crack. Jackie, with her usual flair for timing, decided that her moment had arrived. She walked up to the stage with a confident stride, heels clicking against the polished floor, and grabbed the microphone. At first, the crowd assumed she was about to deliver a toast. She even played into the expectation, starting with jokes and compliments. "Let's give it up for a gorgeous bride," she said, raising her glass high. Applause followed, the mood still light, still celebratory. And of course, for the lucky groom, who managed to snag her before anyone else could. Laughter rippled through the room. But then, her voice shifted, dropping lower, heavier. "But weddings are about truth," she continued, her eyes sweeping across the room before landing squarely on Brandi. "And it's only fair that the truth is spoken tonight." A hush fell instantly. The DJ lowered the volume. Guests froze mid-bite, mid-sip, mid-laugh. Everyone could feel that this wasn't going to be just another playful jab. Brandi's eyes widened. She shook her head slightly, mouthing, "Don't do this." But Jackie ignored her. "Our dear Brandi," Jackie said slowly, savoring every word, "is pregnant." The room erupted. Gasps rang out. Hands flew to mouths, and heads turned toward Brandi, who sat frozen, her face flushing crimson. Jackie wasn't done. "And the whispers going around," she added, her voice cutting like a knife. "Say the father isn't just some random man. No, it's someone very close to home. Someone standing right next to our bride." Every pair of eyes darted toward Jennifer's new husband. He blinked, caught completely off guard, a smile evaporating as he glanced nervously between Jennifer and Brandi. Jennifer stood abruptly, her chair screeching against the floor. "What are you talking about?" Her voice cracked with shock, her hands trembling as she clutched the edge of the table. Brandi shot to her feet. "This is a lie," she shouted, her voice shaking but desperate. "Jackie, stop twisting things. You don't know the truth." "Oh, I know enough," Jackie snapped back, stepping down from the stage. "You've been hiding it, sneaking around, hoping no one would connect the dots. But Vegas has a way of shining a light on secrets, doesn't it?" The groom finally spoke, his voice low but unsteady. This isn't the time." Jennifer spun on him, her eyes filled with tears. "What do you mean, this isn't the time? If it's not true, say it. Deny it." But he hesitated. Just a pause, just a flicker of uncertainty, but it was enough. Gasps spread again, and Jennifer's sob broke the silence. Brandi's voice rose over the chaos. "I am pregnant. Yes," she admitted, her voice trembling. "But it's not like that. You don't understand. None of you do." But Jackie wasn't letting go. "Then explain it to everyone," she challenged, crossing her arms. "Explain why you've been so secretive. Explain why you've been avoiding Jennifer all night. Explain why he," she jabbed a finger toward the groom, "can't look his own wife in the eye right now." The crowd was divided. Some guests rushed to comfort Jennifer, who was sobbing uncontrollably, her makeup streaking as she buried her face in her hands. Others surrounded Brandi, demanding answers, while a smaller group muttered that Jackie had crossed the line, that this wasn't the place or the time. Phones were everywhere. Cameras flashed. Within minutes, the drama had spilled onto social media. Clips of Jackie's speech were uploaded, captions screaming about betrayal, scandal, and pregnancy. Fans watching online were left stunned, firing off comments in disbelief. "This can't be real. Jackie did not just say that at the wedding. Poor Jennifer. My heart breaks for her." But inside the ballroom, the chaos only deepened. Jennifer's fiancé reached for her hand, but she pulled away violently, glaring at him through her tears. "You're supposed to be my husband," she spat, "and you can't even look me in the eye. Tell me this isn't true. Tell me." He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. That silence was louder than any confession. Brandi stepped forward, her eyes glistening. "Please, Jennifer, it's not what you think. I swear to you, it's not what you think." But Jennifer shook her head, backing away, her voice raw. "I don't even know who I can trust right now." The once perfect Vegas wedding had transformed into a battlefield. Tears, shouting, accusations, it was all unraveling faster than anyone could stop it. Jackie stood firm, unbothered by the chaos she had unleashed, while Brandi crumbled under the weight of the revelation. And Jennifer's dream night shattered before her very eyes. And yet, in the midst of the storm, one burning question lingered above all the noise. Was Jackie telling the whole truth? Or had she just destroyed lives with a single calculated strike? The ballroom was still ringing with the echoes of Jackie's words. Some guests tried to restore calm, but the tension was too thick, too poisonous. The music had stopped completely, leaving only the sound of raised voices, hurried whispers, and Jennifer's muffled sobs as she pushed past her bridesmaids toward the exit. Paparazzi, tipped off in advance, swarmed outside the venue. When Jennifer stumbled out into the Vegas night, mascara streaking down her cheeks, cameras flashed like lightning. Her wedding gown, which just an hour earlier symbolized perfection, now looked heavy and suffocating, dragging behind her like the weight of betrayal. Inside, Brandi was left standing under the spotlight of suspicion. "This isn't how I wanted it to come out," she stammered, her voice trembling. "But Jackie's twisting everything." "You guys don't know the full story? Then tell us," someone shouted from the crowd, "because right now it looks bad." Brandi's chest rose and fell rapidly. She glanced at the groom, who avoided her eyes, staring at the floor as though it could swallow him whole. Jackie smirked, clearly enjoying the unraveling. "Funny how the truth always makes people nervous," she said, folding her arms. "I just did what everyone here deserves. Gave them honesty. Everyone here deserves. Gave them honesty. Honesty." Brandi snapped, her fear mixing with anger. "You don't care about honesty, Jackie. You care about drama. You live for it. You wanted to ruin this night because you can't stand not being the center of attention." Gasps filled the room, but Jackie only raised an eyebrow. "Sweetheart, I didn't make you pregnant. I didn't make you sneak around. If you've got secrets, don't blame me for exposing them." Brandi's knees wobbled. She sank into a chair, covering her face. Her friends tried to shield her, but the cameras were already outguessed, recording every second. On social media, hashtags began trending within minutes. Hashtag Vegas wedding disaster. Hashtag branded drama. Hashtag Jackie exposed. Back outside. Jennifer's publicist tried to usher her into a waiting car, but reporters shouted questions that sliced through her like knives. "Jennifer, did your husband cheat? Are the rumors about Brandi true? How do you feel knowing this on your wedding night?" She didn't answer, just buried her face in her hands, letting herself be swept into the car. The door slammed shut, silencing the chaos outside, but inside, her sobs echoed louder than ever. Meanwhile, the groom, now husband, but the title already felt tainted, stayed behind in the ballroom. His jaw tightened as he tried to regain control. "Everyone, enough," he barked, his voice cutting through the noise. "This is between me, my wife, and Brandi. Not the rest of you," but the crowd wasn't having it. "If it's not true, then say it." One guest shouted, "Put an end to this right now." He hesitated again. That hesitation told everyone what they needed to know. "Coward," someone muttered under their breath. Brandi stood shakily, her hands trembling. "I never wanted this," she said softly. "Yes, I'm pregnant. Yes, it's complicated. But it's not what Jackie's saying. It's not an affair. It's not betrayal." She looked toward the groom, her voice cracking. "Please, say something. Tell them the truth." All eyes turned to him. Finally, he lifted his gaze. "The truth," he said slowly, "is that Brandi and we crossed a line once." The room erupted. Shouts, gasps, chairs scraping as people jumped to their feet. Jackie grinned like a cat that had cornered a mouse. "And there it is." Brandi's face crumpled. "You weren't supposed to say that," she whispered, shaking her head. "You promised. Don't you dare put this on me," he shot back. "You wanted me to protect you, but look at what's happened. Look at this mess." Brandi clutched her stomach instinctively, as though shielding her unborn child from the storm of hatred around her. "You think this is just about you? This is my life too. My baby's life." Jackie's voice sliced through again. "And Jennifer's life. The one you just destroyed." Outside, Jennifer's car hadn't moved yet. She sat in the back seat, frozen, listening to her phone vibrate with notifications. Texts from friends, calls from gossip bloggers, emails from producers, all demanding answers. Through the tinted window, she could see flashes from cameras, each one capturing her pain in real time. She whispered to herself over and over, "Why me? Why tonight? Why him?" Inside, the groom tried to salvage what little dignity he had left. "Listen," he said, raising his hands to the crowd. "What happened with Brandi was a mistake. It was before we got serious, before the wedding was even real." But Jackie pounced again. "And yet, you didn't tell her. You didn't come clean. You thought you could bury it. But the past doesn't stay buried. Darling, it always finds its way back." Brandi's tears spilled freely now. "I didn't want to hurt her," she said desperately. "I didn't want any of this to happen. I wanted to protect everyone, But now it's too late. The ballroom was chaos. Friends argued among themselves, some defending Brandi, others calling her a homewrecker. Jennifer's absence loomed like a ghost. Her empty seat at the head table a brutal reminder of the night's collapse. Social media buzzed with live updates. Clips of Jackie's reveal had already gone viral. Commentators weighed in. Jackie's messy, but she did what needed to be done. Brandi betrayed her friend. No excuses. Jennifer deserves so much better. Somewhere in Vegas. Jennifer's phone pinged with one notification after another. She refused to look at them. All she could see in her mind was her groom's silence, his hesitation, his failure to protect her in the moment she needed him most, back in the ballroom. Security tried to restore order, but Jackie refused to back down. "You can hate me all you want," she told the crowd, "but don't you dare say I lied, because everything I said tonight was the truth." Brandi glared at her through tears. "Truth without compassion is cruelty," she whispered. Jackie tilted her head. "Call it what you want. I call it reality." And with that, she raised her glass once more, sipping champagne as though she hadn't just set fire to the most important night of Jennifer's life. The night was far from over, but the wedding was officially in ruins. And for Jennifer, Brandi, and the man caught between them, the battle lines were only beginning to form. The Vegas Strip glittered with neon lights. But for Jennifer, the city felt darker than ever. Her limousine finally pulled away from the venue, yet the chaos inside her heart only grew louder. She clutched her phone tightly, scrolling through messages she could barely read through her tears. Some friends begged her not to make any rash decisions. Others demanded to know the truth. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it had become public property within minutes. Inside the ballroom, the scene had shifted from chaos to complete disorder. Half the guests had already left, unable to stomach the drama, while the rest stayed behind, fueled by morbid curiosity. The groom sat slumped in his chair, stripped of authority, his once confident demeanor reduced to silent shame. Brandi sat a few feet away, surrounded by whispers and glares, trembling as though every word spoken cut deeper than the last dot. Jackie, however, thrived in the storm she had created. She mingled through the crowd, sipping her drink casually, every bit the puppet master basking in her performance. "You all know I don't sugarcoat things," she told a group of guests. "It was better this way." Imagine Jennifer finding out years later after building a whole life with him. "I spared her worst pain," a woman scoffed. "Spared her. You humiliated her. You timed this so it would cause maximum damage." Jackie shrugged, unbothered. Sometimes the truth doesn't come in pretty packages. Brandi finally gathered enough strength to stand. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen, but her voice, though shaky, carried across the room. "Jackie, you talk about truth like it's a gift, but you don't care about truth? You wanted to hurt me. You wanted to ruin Jennifer's night, and you succeeded." Jackie turned slowly, her lips curling into a smirk. "Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. This was never about you. It was about loyalty. And clearly none of you know what that means." The groom shot up suddenly, his chair scraping against the floor. "Enough," he growled. "I'm sick of this. Sick of everyone acting like they know what's going on. What happened between me and Brandi was a mistake. It was before Jennifer and I were official. I never meant for any of this to come out tonight. But the crowd wasn't buying it. Before you were official," a man repeated. "So you're saying you were juggling both of them?" The groom clenched his fists. "It wasn't like that." Brandi spoke up, her voice breaking. "He's right. It wasn't like that. I didn't even know he was serious about Jennifer when it happened." She looked down, ashamed. "I never would have let it go further if I'd known." But her words didn't land the way she hoped. People shook their heads, whispering louder, recording her every word. The internet was already tearing her apart, calling her a traitor, a backstabber, even worse, outside. Jennifer had been taken to a penthouse suite by her closest friends. She sat on the edge of the bed, staring blankly at the Vegas skyline. Her maid of honor tried to comfort her. "You don't owe him anything, Jen. Not after this." You walk away and you hold your head high. But Jennifer's voice was hollow. Walk away? How? Everyone knows. My family, my fans, the whole world. I can't even breathe without someone wanting a piece of this story. She shook her head. I thought tonight was supposed to be the happiest night of my life. Now it feels like I'm the punchline of some cruel joke. Downstairs, reporters were camped outside the hotel. Rumors spread faster than wildfire. That Jennifer had annulled the marriage already, that Brandi was demanding the groom choose her. That Jackie had been plotting this reveal for weeks. The frenzy was unstoppable. Back at the venue, Brandi's emotions finally boiled over. She marched toward Jackie, her tears replaced by fury. You don't get to destroy me and then act proud of it, she spat. You don't get to stand there and act righteous. Jackie raised an eyebrow. What are you going to do? Hit me. Scream? Go ahead. So remember, violence won't change the truth. Brandi's hands curled into fists, but she forced herself to stop. I don't need violence. Because one day everyone will see you for what you are, a bitter, jealous woman who feeds on other people's misery. For the first time that night, Jackie's smile faltered, if only for a second. But then she laughed, a low, cutting laugh that sent chills through the room. Believe what you want, Brandi. But remember, without me, you'd still be hiding your little secret. I gave you the gift of exposure. Now you have no choice but to own it. Exposure. Now you have no choice but to own it. Brandi stumbled back, clutching her stomach as her friends rushed to her side. Whispers rippled against some guests, worrying for her baby. Others accusing her of playing the victim. The groom moved toward her, guilt written across his face. Brandi, please, let me help. She turned on him with venom in her eyes. Help? You think you can help? You stood there in silence while she ripped me apart. You let Jennifer run out alone. You let this all fall on me. Don't you dare talk about help. His face hardened. Don't act like you're innocent. You were part of this too. The crowd was stunned into silence, watching as the triangle exploded in front of them. Jackie leaned back in her chair, sipping her drink, her mission complete. Meanwhile, Jennifer's phone buzzed again. She finally opened it, hundreds of comments, thousands of tags, fans begging her not to forgive him, to stand strong. One message stood out from all the noise sent by a close relative. Don't come back to him. We'll fight this together. Her eyes welled up again, but this time there was fire in them. She wasn't just the betrayed bride anymore. She was a woman scorned. And Vegas had given her a stage dot. Word spread quickly that Jennifer might be preparing a statement. Gossip outlets scrambled to position themselves. Everyone waited, breathless, to hear her side dot. Back at the ballroom, the guests who remained sensed the night wasn't over. The wedding may have collapsed, but the drama was only gaining momentum. With Jennifer silent, Brandi broken. The groom desperate and Jackie triumphant. The story was spiraling into something far bigger than any of them had ever imagined. The ballroom had thinned out, but the tension was still suffocating. Security hovered near the stage, unsure whether to shut everything down or let the chaos play out. Chandeliers still sparkled above, but the glamour was gone, replaced by a heavy cloud of betrayal and broken trust. Brandi sat in a corner, her friends whispering frantic reassurances. While Jackie still strutted around like she owned the night, suddenly the room fell silent. The doors swung open and there was Jennifer, back in her gown, but with an entirely different aura. Gone was the fragile bride who fled in tears. In her place stood a woman radiating icy composure, her chin high and her eyes cold. Every camera in the room immediately turned to her, flashes lighting up like fireworks. Well, she said, her voice carrying without a microphone, I see the circus is still going. Guests gasped. Jackie smirked, lifting her glass. Oh, look who decided to rejoin us. I was beginning to think you'd never show your face again, but Jennifer didn't flinch. Jackie, you've had your fun. Congratulations, you got the spotlight you wanted. But let's be clear, this isn't your story. It's mine. The groom rushed toward her, desperate. Jennifer, please, just hear me out. "We can fix this." She cut him off with a glare sharp enough to pierce steel. "Fix this. You humiliated me in front of everyone I know. You disrespected our vows before we even said them. There is no fixing this." Brandi tried to stand, her voice weak but trembling with emotion. "Jennifer, I swear I never wanted to hurt you. I didn't know." Jennifer turned toward her, her expression unreadable. "I believe you didn't want this. But wanting doesn't change the reality, Brandi. You carried a secret that blew up my life." She paused, her voice catching slightly, but she pushed forward. "And now you'll have to live with the consequences, just like I will." The crowd was stunned into silence, watching Jennifer reclaim her power one word at a time. Even Brandi seemed too overwhelmed to respond. Jackie, however, wasn't ready to back down. She clapped slowly, mocking. "Bravo!" Strong words from a broken bride. "But let's not pretend you're in control here. You may hate me, but deep down, you know I did you a favor." Jennifer stepped closer, her heels clicking against the marble floor. "A favor. Jackie, you ruined the most important night of my life. You didn't expose the truth from you, exposed it for yourself, because you thrive on chaos. Because without drama, you're nothing." The crowd gasped audibly, some even applauding. Jackie's smirk faltered for the first time all night. "You want the spotlight so badly?" Jennifer continued, her voice steady and fierce. "Then keep it. Because from this moment on, I'm done being your victim. I'm not the humiliated bride anymore. I'm the woman who walked away." She reached down, slipping the engagement ring off her finger. The groom tried to stop her, his face pale. "Jennifer, wait. Don't do this." But she dropped the ring onto the floor, the sound echoing through the room like a final gavel strike. "It's over," she declared. The guests erupted, some in applause, some in shocked whispers. Phones went up, recording the exact moment Jennifer ended it all. Fans online would later call it the most iconic exit in reality TV history. The groom collapsed back into his chair, burying his face in his hands. Brandi sobbed quietly, realizing how irrevocably things had changed. And Jackie? For once, she didn't have a comeback. Her eyes darted around the room, suddenly aware that the audience she thought she controlled was now judging her instead. Jennifer turned and began walking toward the exit. Every step was deliberate, every breath controlled. When she reached the door, she paused and looked back one last time. "Enjoy the rest of the night," she said coolly. "Because tomorrow it won't be my scandal. It won't be yours." With that, she was gone, leaving the ballroom in chaos. Outside, reporters swarmed instantly. Microphones shoved in her face, flashes blinding her, questions flying from every direction. "Jennifer, are you leaving him?" "Jennifer, what about Brandi's baby?" "Jennifer, do you blame Jackie?" She didn't answer a single one. She simply walked past, her silence louder than any words she could have spoken. Inside, the fallout was immediate. Guests turned on Jackie, some accusing her of cruelty, others praising her for honesty, but none treating her like the queen of drama she imagined herself to be. Brandi's friends tried to escort her out quietly, but the whispers followed about her pregnancy, her choices, her future. The groom sat alone, abandoned, his empire of lies crumbling in real time. Online clips of the scandal spread like wildfire. Hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag wedding meltdown. Hashtag JENNIFERS revenge. Hashtag Jackie the HOMEWRECKER. Fan pages debated endlessly. Was Jackie a truth teller or a villain? Was Brandi guilty or just a victim of timing? Should Jennifer forgive, or was walking away her ultimate power move? By the time the sun rose over Vegas, the story had reached every corner of social media. Pundits weighed in, fans dissected every detail, and memes flooded the internet. What was meant to be a wedding had become the scandal of the year. And in the middle of it all, 4 women were left to face the fallout. Jennifer, rising stronger from her heartbreak. Brandi, broken but still carrying a child that tied her to the man she wished she could forget. Jackie, relishing her exposure but secretly shaken by the backlash. And the groom, forever marked as the man who lost everything in one night of truth. Vegas weddings are known for their spectacle, but this one would go down in history not for love, but for betrayal lies. And one woman's unforgettable stand. What a night. What a scandal. What was supposed to be a celebration of love in Vegas turned into one of the most shocking wedding meltdowns reality fans have ever seen. Jackie didn't just stir the pot. She flipped the entire table, and the fallout left Jennifer, Brandi, and the groom picking up pieces that may never fit back together again. Jennifer's icy walkout, Brandi's heartbreaking silence, the groom's desperate collapse, and Jackie's smirk slowly fading as the room turned on her. All of it combined into a spectacle that fans will replay for years. Emotions ran high, friendships fractured, and a family was left divided right in front of the cameras. But here's the question everyone is asking. Where do they go from here? Will Jennifer rise even stronger from the ashes of her ruined wedding? Will Brandi's pregnancy tie her forever to a man who has already destroyed one life? Can Jackie survive the backlash she created? Or has she finally pushed too far? And what about the groom? Does he have any chance of redemption? Or has his name been permanently scarred by betrayal? Fans online are already taking sides, and the debate isn't slowing down anytime soon. Some are calling Jennifer a queen for walking away, while others say Jackie was only exposing the truth. One thing's certain, this scandal isn't going away. And the next chapter may be even more explosive. Now we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Was Jennifer right to end it all in front of everyone? Do you believe Jackie was out of line? Or did she only say what needed to be said? And what do you think Brandi's future looks like now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you were glued to every second of this drama. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates, because trust us, this story is far from over. Trust us, this story is far from over.